The pressure to reinvent ourselves and be the best version of ourselves is always really overwhelming the first few months of the year. Because if you're anything like me, your TikTok For You page, your YouTube home feed, everything right now is how to level up in 2025, how to reinvent yourself in the new year, how to be the best version of yourself after your winter arc. We are surrounded by social media constantly shouting out the newest wellness trends, products that we need to buy, or else we're not cool, we're not trendy. I know that me personally, I constantly feel like I need a new wardrobe. I'm not good enough. I need to organize my life. I need a new space. I need to move. It's just really overwhelming. And it's something that so many of us can relate to, right? I mean, the bank-breaking overconsumption that these trends promote. And I'm not here to bash these creators or the content that they make or the opinions that they're sharing. I'm just here to share the other side of it and my personal take, because it can be super easy and affordable for those of us who are on a budget, maybe looking to save some money for a rainy day fund or for retirement. Some of us have debt that we're working to pay off. Some of us don't even have a washer and dryer. The point is, health and wellness is not exclusively for those who have deep pockets. It's not exclusively for the fancy influencers that you see on your page. Health and wellness can be, and should be accessible to all of us. I'm just simply going to be sharing some of my tips that I use to feel like that girl, the it girl, the best version of myself, whatever you want to call it. These are just some of the things that I do to feel my best. My first big thing that I want to share with you today is really all about budget-friendly meals, cooking at home. I think a lot of my success with this starts with the fact that I make a meal plan for my boyfriend and I every week. I can look at the whole week ahead and see, am I eating balanced? Am I eating healthy? Am I eating as many whole foods as possible and getting all the nutrients, micronutrients that I need? It's also helpful because I can budget and I know what I'm buying, how much it costs. I try not to deviate from a budget. So if it's not on the list and it's not in the budget that we have set for ourselves that week, I'm not going to buy it. It's also helpful to find a couple recipes, go to easy recipes that you can double up for super cheap. And then that way you can take some leftovers to work with you the next day. I know I try to do this as much as possible because that keeps me from spending money in the hospital cafeteria or Chick-fil-A. In this household, we also really make use of canned and frozen items. Frozen broccoli, frozen peas are our go-tos. Canned black beans, canned corn. These things really help us to save money, but also make sure I'm still eating whole foods, really nutritious things. This is also really helpful because then you don't have a bunch of fresh produce that goes bad too early. Another healthy go-to thing that I do that doesn't require a lot of money is to get some exercise without a gym membership. I do personally have a gym membership, but that's because strength training is really important to me, and having like access to squat racks and big barbells and things like that for deadlifts, like that's really important to me. But that's based on my personal fitness goals. Not everybody is going to need a gym membership. So if you're not interested in a gym membership, but you still want to do some kind of workout to feel really healthy and feel fit, I definitely recommend finding ways to get outside. My personal favorite way to get some exercise outside is to go on a walk. I've also really been getting into running because I would like to run a 10K. It might just be a 5K, but we're gonna shoot for a 10K. Getting outside to do your exercise is really important because number one, hello, fresh air. Number two, exercise, you're doing the thing you want to do. But number three, I usually do it without headphones. I usually do my workouts as soon as I get home from work. It's the first thing I do, and that ensures that I'm giving myself silent time to really process my day. If you live somewhere that is still really cold, or it's getting dark early still, or maybe you just don't live in a safe area, there is still plenty more exercise and workouts that you can do from indoors. I'm very fortunate in that I got a free treadmill from Facebook Marketplace There was a lady in my neighborhood who just put hers on the side of the curb and made a Facebook post and was like, hey, free to anyone who wants it. It still works. I know that I'm really fortunate in that, and not everybody is going to have that kind of opportunity, but I definitely recommend checking out Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes I see like dumbbells, things like that posted on Facebook Marketplace for pretty cheap. Another super great thing that I used to do a lot is free body weight exercise videos on YouTube. I'll put a few up here on the screen for you to check out if you're interested, but I used to do a lot of Pilates, kind of home-based exercises that don't require any equipment. It's all body weight. All these videos are free on YouTube. But getting some kind of exercise in is really going to help you feeling fit and feeling like super confident and really feeling like that girl. Next up, I really recommend doing some DIY beauty treatments at home by yourself, setting up like a spa night or a pamper yourself kind of night. Because nowadays going to the nail salon is very expensive. Getting your lashes done, getting waxing services, facials, things like that, that cost can add up really quickly. It was either late 2020 or early 2021, but somewhere around there, I actually bought myself an LED gel lamp. It's the Beatles brand, and I know that because I still use it to this day. I've got tons of the polishes. I've got all kind of stuff so that I can do my nails at home. I've saved a ton of money, but despite the initial investment, which is still very cost effective, you are going to save so much money over time. And then you have the joy of pampering yourself, giving yourself a manicure and soaking your nails, maybe light a candle, put some nice music on. To me, really relaxing and taking care of myself has always made me feel very put together, very much that girl, the it girl. You can also look into doing your lashes at home by yourself. I have friends that do this. I'm not a big lash person just because I'm not good at it, but I have tried a few kits. I really like the Falscara kit by Kiss. I've done that one quite a few times actually. I really like how they turn out. Those ones are actually pretty simple for me to do, and if I can do it, anybody can do it. I've also gotten into doing my own wax at home. I have never actually gone and gotten a wax at like European Wax or like a local office or anything like that. But now that I can like wax my legs at home, it's really cool. I've got a soft wax that I use, and then I have a hard wax that I use. And between the two of those kits, like I can do it all myself at home. I don't have to spend money on getting anybody else to do it. And it's one of those extra things that just make me feel really put together, really luxurious. Setting aside like a Friday night or something, just put it in your planner, like 2 hours to just take care of me. There is nothing more like that girl and it girl than taking care of yourself. So next up, we are moving into my mental health tips because there is nothing more important than taking care of your mental health. If you have learned nothing else from my channel, that is what you're gonna learn. Because being that girl and being the best version of yourself is the version of yourself that is healing and growing. I really want to recommend starting this by changing the way that you speak to yourself. All those negative thoughts, you are just reinforcing them in your brain. I heard all the time that changing the way that you speak to yourself really makes a difference, and I did not believe it. I will be very honest with you. I did not believe it until I started doing it for myself. I'm not the type of person that wakes up in the morning, looks in the mirror, and does all my positive affirmations. But I definitely am nowadays the type of person who can, number one, stop myself before I say those negative things. But number two, I can say positive things to myself and enforce positive messages in my brain. And the more that I say that stuff to myself, the more I start to believe it because I have reinforced those things in my brain. I also want to encourage you to find some sort of skill to help you alleviate stress, ground yourself, stay present in the present moment. I hear people talk about journaling all the time, and I've talked about this in the past. Journaling on its own doesn't always work for me, but whether it's journaling, meditating, visualization techniques, whatever you've got to do, find some kind of skill that you can work on daily. When you have those moments where you are acting out of character, you're acting not in alignment with your values, you can have this skill on the back burner and something in your toolbox that you can pull out without thinking. If I'm having a really bad day and I know that I'm not doing well, I know I'm not acting in alignment with my values, I've got skills in my toolbox that I'm gonna fall back on and I don't even have to think about doing them. I've done them so often that I know that they help me and I just automatically kind of think to do them because I know that they're gonna make me feel better. Other things that I see people talk about in their like reinventing yourself video is talking about hobbies. But something that I wanted to add on to finding a hobby is find a hobby that brings you joy, but also make sure that this hobby is something that you are not going to monetize. So for me, during grad school, a friend gave me his old Cricut machine and I fell in love instantly. I was making stickers and tumblers, t-shirts. I was doing all kind of things. Problems arose when I decided to monetize it. I thought, perfect, I've got a new business idea. I am notorious for my business ideas. Again, I was in grad school. I had a lot of financial difficulties in grad school, so I thought this was a brilliant idea. But turns out, trying to monetize my favorite hobby absolutely ruined it for me. It took all the joy out of it and I did not want to do it anymore. So I really encourage you to find something that is not going to put that pressure on you. Your hobby also doesn't have to be expensive. I've got some cheap watercolors here in my office that came from Dollar Tree. There's no rule that says you have to buy the best of the best. I don't need the best watercolors. I don't need the best acrylic paints and paintbrushes. Again, when I decided to monetize my creative hobby, it completely ruined it for me, not only because there was the pressure to perform and do the best, and I was constantly watching the analytics and seeing if I got sales, but there was also the pressure to be the best of the best because I had competition. I had other people selling similar products. Now with my Dollar Tree watercolors and my running outside, there's nothing telling me that I've got to be the best of the best. I have no pressure on me because none of this is monetized. I'm not selling anything. My paintings are for me and me alone. My running is for me and me alone. Find that hobby that makes you feel like that girl and feel like you have got your life together without putting pressure on yourself to be the best of the best and without any pressure to monetize it. Finally, I really encourage you to plan your week out ahead of time. Earlier, I mentioned planning my meals. I also plan my workouts. I plan in time for my self-care, mental health check-ins. To be honest, I plan everything down to 30-minute increments. Scheduling in my routines and planning everything out ahead of time not only saves me time, but also saves me money. Again, I'm not overbuying on groceries. I'm not shopping for convenience, doing things just because I'm bored. I've got something to do every hour of the day. I promise you that. And planning also means that you're going to reach your health and wellness goals because you have scheduled those things into your day. I have a physical planner that I bought, but then I also have designed my own like Google Sheets and my planner pages. I have a content creator planner, but all in all, having everything planned out is really going to help you reach your health and wellness goals. So there you have it. Those are my tips and tricks to being the it girl, being that girl and the best version of yourself while still sticking to a budget and avoiding as much excess spending as possible and walking out of the door each day feeling confident and empowered to be the best version of you. Because at the end of the day, you are your own it girl. You are that girl of your own life. I hope I said something today that was helpful for you. Maybe I shared something that you hadn't heard before, or I said it in a way that really clicked for you. I hope that you subscribe to the channel and join my little community over here on this side of the internet. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Bye.